Hello, welcome to episode number 6. And in this episode, I'm going to be continuing on what I was doing in episode number 5. So, in episode number 5, I was working on an interactive program which was taking input from the user. Then the data from the user was stored inside a variable, and the variable was used later on to display. Today, I'm going to flip this. I'm going to show you a way that you can use your graphical user interfaces in order for you to take input from the user, but which simply just does the very same thing. All right, so now before I can do that, I need to show you how you can cast your values. So what is casting? Casting is just simply when you are converting from one specific data type to another data type. So what do we call that specific type of casting? We're calling it explicit casting. So there is the difference between explicit and implicit casting. Implicit casting is when the compiler, the Java compiler itself does it for you. And explicit casting is when you, as a user, you actually do it for yourself. All right. Now, so in this case, I'm not going to need this. I'm going to remove that. I'm only just going to need that. And then I'm also going to remove this. Then I'm going to prompt user input. So the way it works is that every input that is made through a GUI, which is a JOptionPane, which the method that we are using is a showInputDIalog, it always returns a string. So even our age in this case must first be inputted as a string. So now let us get those ones. So then we're going to say name, and then we assign it to JOptionPane dot show input dialog. And the previous sessions, I was using the show message dialog. That is the one that you use to display. In this case, we want to take in the user input. So let me just import the JOptionPane the way we always do it. Even in the previous sessions, I'm going to import it there. I'm not going to need the scanner because I'm no longer using the standard way of doing it. Now I'm using a GUI application, which is a graphical user interface. So I'm going to keep the first parameter as null. Here, I'm going to say, please enter your name. And then I'm going to label it as name entry. And then I'm going to give it an icon, which is JOptionPane dot. Then, as I've mentioned before, when you're taking input from a user which does not give information about anything, you always use the plain message. So we're going to select the plain message. Then I'm going to take in the course. It's JOptionPane, JOptionPane dot show input dialog. I'm going to keep it as null. Please enter the course you are studying. And then I'm going to call it course entry. Then I'm going to give it the icon, which is plain. So it won't have any icon because I'm keeping it as a plain message. Then after this, I'm going to then the age string. Remember, every entry using the JOptionPane dot show input dialog. This caps must be small. And I keep the first one as none. Please enter your age. So I'm gonna label it as age entry. Give it a type, plain also. And must be small letter. Plain message. There we go, semicolon. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna convert from string to integer. So how do you do that? You need to then assign to that variable, which is the integer. Then you write the name of the class that you're gonna need is integer dot pass value, pass int. If you're converting from a string to an integer, you say integer dot pass int. If you are converting to a double, you're going to say double dot pass double, just like that, and boolean and so forth and so forth. So now, in this case, I'm passing to an integer dot pass integer dot pass int string, and the string that I want to pass is str, str standing for string. So then now I have my variables. Now I have the name, I have the course, and I have the age. So in this case, after getting this, then I want to display everything. All right, so since it's gonna give me 3 options of me actually taking in the information. So for now, for me to display, there is the thing which I was talking about, which is manipulations of string. So I'm only going to show you one way of manipulating strings. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with the string, but so far, this is what we're going to need. So for you to display them neatly, you're going to need a string. Let's call it display. You're going to keep it as empty. So you get down here, you write it as disp is assign, say disp dot a string. When you write the name of the string dot, it's gonna give you the different methods that you can run on that string. So the one that we're gonna need is concat. So what concat does is that it combines a string to another one. So when you say concat, now we want to concat the message. We want to say the name received is, we want to put it at the end. We're going to say name. Then after that, I want to go to a new line, put a semicolon, go to the next line, and then concat. I'm going to add from this side. It's going to add the variable, add, go to a new line and add. Now I'm adding the second line. I'm going to say the course received is concat. Here I'm going to write course, concat also, go to a new line, concat. That is not an equal sign. It is supposed to be a plus sign. And then I add the last one. I'm going to say the age received is, I'm going to say age here. So that should be able to do the trick. But in this case, it's just formatting the string. It's not really displaying it. So for us to display, we're going to need JOptionPane, the one that we were using before, show message dialog. This one is a show input dialog. And then we're going to use the show message dialog. So we're going to keep this one as null. And then here we're going to use disp. So then it's going to display the formatted string, the one which is formatted properly and neatly. It's going to write that the name received is, write the name, go to a new line, write that the codes received, go to a new line, and then show the course. And then it's also going to say the age received and write the age. So this is how you go to a new line. This simply shows that you're going to a new line. Then I'm going to say that I'm going to title it as the received values. And then I'm going to give it a type, JOptionPane dot information. message because I'm giving information. I'm no longer going to use it as a plain message. I'm going to give it the information message. Then this should be able to work, give us graphical user interfaces. And there is the first graphical interface. It's going to be labeled as name entry. Then it's going to say, please enter the name. I'm going to say the name is Odiso. Please enter the course study. I'm going to say diploma in technology. Please enter your age, 22. And there you have it. It's able to write it as the received values. This is the JOptionPane show message dialog. There you have it to show that it's an information message. In cost number, I think it's episode number 3, we were working on different types of JOptionPane show message dialogues that you can use. So now it's displaying that the name that was received is Hodiso, the course that was received is Diploma in Information Technology, and the age received is 22. And then when you click OK, the application is going to stop. So this is another way of you doing it. But remember, this is an object-oriented way of doing things. This is not basic. The basic one is in episode number 5. If you're still new to programming, please watch episode number 5. That is the basic way of doing stuff. And if you're not new to programming and you have been just recently introduced to object-oriented programming, this is the way you are going to do stuff. But it's still part of the basics, but it's not really that basic. So till we drop the next one, please like, share, comment, and share with everyone who's interested in programming, anyone who's starting out with programming, and anyone who needs information or is in need of tutorial videos in order for them to get their hands dirty with these programs and start coding in the Java programming language. From me, till the next one, cheers.